So capitalism take make claim that um, uh, the wealth of country belong privately to people. If you own the piece of land, then all the mine belong to you, even though the mine stretch across the country, and that wealth should belong to the whole people, but they claim it's there, right? Because they claim it's there, and they can put down the thing and they get wealth by themselves, and that is the raw material belong to them, and then the means of production belong to them, and so people become have to sell their labor to them in order to produce things. In that sense, if you own the means of production and the natural resources, then the people becomes a slave labor, often call it a capitalist labor market. They become only sell their own labor for 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 wage, right?
How do you say that in Vietnamese?
Means of production, yeah, phương tiện sản xuất,
And then slave labor.
slave labor, slave labor, um, lao động, lao động nô lệ.
Okay.
So in that sense, you have to be a slave to that production circle. So if the whole people own the means of production and the resources, then you take away the most powerful resources of the capitalists already. So now we have to deal with how they do it, how people exploit each other, so that we could, in a sense, using the market as a distribution system to reduce the, the, the effect of the capitalists from outside of the country going inside the country, and also the financial system that the capitalist is using, so that people uh, have few means to become big capitalists in the country.
Do you want to add anything else?
Basically, that is basically it. Uh, but in the history of building socialism in Vietnam since 1975, we have a lot of lessons we have learned. We have learned that the method of building socialism that we inherited from the Soviet Union didn't work in Vietnam. First thing didn't work is that we used to have a coupon system, and the state has a planning commission that plan all the production within the country, and the distribution system. Of course, the government can never do a distribution very well, and so we start learning that market economy help us as a means to distribute it evenly among the country, so that we have learned that lesson throughout 70 after 75 to 85. Number two is that the way that we organize the cooperative, agricultural cooperative, like the Russian or the Chinese, will not work in Vietnam. And so by 1975, we say, um, Vietnam says that we distribute land to the peasant, and so they will produce it themselves, and then we coordinate the production, so that immediately within 3 months after the Soviet Union fell, then Vietnam was sufficient in food and were like have 2 million tons of rices for export. The reason is a different management system from the Soviet Union style is better for Vietnam. In that sense, we have no control of the state, but the state is using the law of market economy in order to control the market, so that it will be distributed evenly. That's it. That create wealth right away. That eliminate the problem of wealth and the wealth production as well as distribution. We have learned also that very clearly that the market economy is the thing that we have to use in order to regulate the the distribution evenly among the country. Thirdly, Vietnam has learned that if you use the the um, the front, the national fatherland front, as the biggest fund in the country, in order to have worked mainly on eliminating um, poverty, then we could use that as a means to always repeated the process in order to improve the livelihood of the poor in the country, because Vietnam came out of the war with almost 80% of the country illiterate and poor and owned nothing and could not do anything, and the country has no electricity system. So now the plan is to distribute all the electricity system within the country in order to distribute computer to everywhere in the country. If you have internet, Vietnam is one of the early country to use internet to use internet as a means of uh, communication within the country, so that everybody can enjoy internet in Vietnam. The decision was made like in 1997, very early, and so we will use that as also we have all many means in order to make sure that the distribution is reaching the poor.